Hi, so this week's column is about peels, and I don't use peels that often, but I do find in recent years I'm using them a bit more regularly. Basically, the reason I don't use peels very much is that I use the hot cloth cleansing method, which I've shown you before and bang on about ad nauseum, which is where when you do your daily cleanse or your twice daily cleanse, you massage in your cleanser and then you remove it in a buffing motion with a wet hot cloth wrung out. And what that does, apart from remove your makeup and clean your skin and so on, is it buffs off the dead skin cells. And the result of doing that regularly means that you're not having to use those scrubs that people use once a week or those kind of mild peels to take away the dead cells. However, peel kits are a little bit more, they've got a little bit more gumption, I suppose, than those kind of scrubby things, and you use them much less frequently. I personally wouldn't use a peel more than once a month. Once every 2 months is totally fine. And what they do is they're stronger and more concentrated, and they remove the debris and expose the kind of virgin skin underneath. And now there are inherent care issues with that, which I'll get to later. But basically what they're doing is they're sort of mimicking how a dermatologist's peel works in a doctor's office, but in much lower doses of active ingredients, so they're much less concentrated, they're more dilute versions that you can safely do at home. It's pointless me explaining to you exactly how you put them on because all of them have kind of quite different application methods. The ones that come like these in a kit where you have several products, generally what you'll have is you'll have one to activate, one to deactivate, so to stop the peel working so that you can so that it doesn't take off too much skin and so on. These with multiple products in general tend to be more concentrate, more effective than the others, and you really don't want to use them that often, maybe once every couple of months, and that will give you a really nice peachy kind of pinky glow underneath. There are others which use, I mean, again, lots of these use different ingredients. Very often they'll use glycolic acid to remove the dead skin. Some of them use fruit acids and fruit enzymes and so on. They all kind of tend to use different things, but mainly there'll be a sort of acid base to it to sort of gobble up the dead skin. There are other products, other types of peels that just come in one tube and they're sort of like a mask, and these in general are a little bit weaker and you can use them maybe once every couple of weeks, especially in the winter when your skin tends to be kind of quite dull and flaky. These are really great for keeping on top of that. I mean, so they do still pack a punch. They're still better than those stupid things with the beads suspended in gel and whatnot, which I just think are useless. If you're cleansing properly, you don't need those. So they're still stronger than that, so you don't want to use them too often. But the all-in-one products tend to be a little bit milder than these sort of mixing kits. Some of them, I mean, this is another mixing kit. Some of them come in little ampules so that you're just getting exactly the right dose each time. And with nearly all of them, I mean, there were a couple I tried where you left them on all the time, for example, which is fine, but the vast majority of them, you're having to rinse them off at the end to completely stop them working. And in those cases, I would still definitely recommend the hot cloth method. So rinse as much as you can off your skin and then take the hot cloth and just sort of really gently buff the product off. The advantage of that is that it really removes it. Nothing hangs around and you know you're fine, and you can kind of pop on your serum and your moisturiser straight away and know that there's no excess peel left on your face, because you don't want it to keep going, because you know they can be quite sort of astringent products. In terms of aftercare, I'm not going to show you how these work because I've tested so many for the column over the months. It's actually too early for me to do another one and I don't want to damage my skin, but also the application varies widely. I wouldn't want to show you a certain way to put them on and then you buy one and it's not the right way to put it on. So the really crucial thing about peels is the aftercare. It is very important after you've used a peel that you use a high protection sunscreen on your face for at least a couple of weeks after. Now, the reason that's very important is that what these products are doing is they're gobbling up the dead, kind of dull skin on the top of your face, and what it's doing is it's exposing that lovely plump pink kind of virgin skin underneath. And because it's doing that, that skin underneath, which has never before seen the light of day, is much, much, much more susceptible to sun damage. So if you take that top layer off and go out without sunscreen, you're really endangering your skin from becoming sun damaged with things like hyperpigmentation, which is sort of dark spots, and obviously exposure to rays that cause wrinkles and so on. So sun protection is massively, massively important. Everything else remains the same. So your serum remains the same, your makeup, your moisturiser and so on, all that is totally fine. It doesn't damage your skin in any way as long as you follow the instructions, but that sun protection is utterly, utterly critical. Now, most of these products have a smooth consistency rather than a grainy consistency, and that's really good because it means that you're not getting bits of grain trapped in your eye and stuff when you rinse them off, which I have definitely done on many occasions. It makes them much easier to remove, much easier to put on also. You're not scratching your face or massaging them in. Generally with these, you either put them on with a brush or your fingertips and you're just stroking them on, and you're not really aggravating your skin, you're letting the product do the work. So that's very, very important, and why I prefer them to those kind of grainy scrubs. They're also available at all price points. You can also get these pads, which I've featured before, which are drenched in the solution and you just kind of sweep them over, which are really great if you want a sort of no mess option. And because you use them so infrequently, they last for ages. And you will notice in this week's column that the cheapest product is this Sanctuary one, which is about 20 quid, I think. And that may seem like a lot, and it is a lot, 20 quid is a lot, but it lasts for ages. It's not like you're having one go, you're literally using it every couple of months, and then and that would go for several applications. So it's a bit of a long-term investment, and if you work out how much each treatment is costing you, it suddenly seems a lot more affordable. Anyway, let me know how you get on. Hopefully you'll give one of them a try. Sensitive skins, obviously try to go for one of the ones I've mentioned that's good for sensitive skins. If your skin is more hardy, then anything goes, and make sure you follow the instructions. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.